Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. What I want to talk about today are regulators. And there are a lot of different terms when we talk about regulators, but this is a style of a dial. This rhymes, where every single indicator is in a different subdial or main dial. Now, the way a regulator is set up is like this. You have your minute hand is your sweep hand for your around the main dial. Your hours are a subdial and your seconds are a subdial. Usually, but not always, your hour subdial goes sort of up toward the top and the left, and the second hand goes down below, the second subdial. So let's take a look at it now. The, why would they have a watch like this? Well, actually, they were clocks, and watchmakers would be in a room, and there'd be this great big clock, a really accurate clock called a regulator. And so the watchmakers would be working on their watches, and then they would set them aside and test them against the regulator. And so it was easy to see the minutes or the seconds or the hours, depending on what part they wanted to test. Or they could do it all at once if they wanted as well. And it's sort of is that history of it. So some companies and some collectors say, well, hey, let's have a watch with this kind of dial. To me, it's sort of a cool thing to have in your collection. That's why I want to talk about it. So let's take a look at some regulators. And believe me, the prices are all over the map, from very low, like the one I have, to very high, like some of the ones we're going to be looking at. Now, the first one is a Patek Philippe. And the thing about the Patek Philippe regulator, you can see the hours right at the top, the seconds are right at the bottom, and then you have the minute hand going around. You also have a day date on this particular one as well. $57,370. Whew, it's a lot of money, but it's just one of the things. Now, the interesting thing about the Patek Philippe, they canceled it at one time. They had a regulator, and they said, well, nobody wants them, so we're going to cancel it. Then they came back again. I don't know why they canceled it. I don't know why they came back, but they did. Now, here's a German regulator called a Sin regulator. And this Sin regulator, this one's hand wound. It's about $3,000. I've seen them for around 2,500 on Chrono 24, and on eBay you can find them also. And here again, you have almost identical layouts. Right in the middle at the top, you have the hours. Right in the middle at the bottom, you have the seconds. And then, of course, you have the minute hand as being the general sweep hand on it. Now, these next two, there's a Laurent Ferrier-Gallet Micro Rotor Regulator Equale. I just love this watch. This one, I just thought, boy, I tell you, that is such a cool watch. I've always liked it a lot. It's $57,000, which is about 57,000 reasons I don't have one. Now, the one on the right is it's by Perpetual Watches, Regulator. And I got one of these a few years ago, and I got it. I forgot who. I went right to the website. It's in Hong Kong. And it's just called Regulator or Perpetual Watches. And it's the same thing. Exactly the same layout as the Patek Philippe, the Laurent Ferrier. Got the hours at the top. And then the sweep hand is the minute hand. And then at the bottom, you have the second hand. This is a very typical layout. Now, the last two watches, and this one's an Alpiner regulator. It sounds like they're stuttering. Now, these two have a little different. The hour hand, or the hour subdial, is offset to around 10, 11 o'clock. And the second hand's right down there at 6 o'clock. and it's $18.95. Like I said, the prices are all over the place here. And then there's another one called the Hamilton Jazzmaster Regulator. There are a whole lot of other ones you can find, and it's $12.75. And here you have the hour subdial up around between 10 and 11, and but the second hand, rather than at 6 o'clock, is over between the 4 and the 5. And so, I mean, it's like, okay, well, why get a regulator? Well, why not? I mean, most of my watches, and probably most of everybody, it's simply this kind of dial. You have the hour hand, a minute hand, then you have a sub-seconds somewhere on it, or you have a center seconds. And this is simply sort of like a checkbox to click off. And this one was $200, but I got to warn you, the price has gone up. Now they're $220. So if you're interested, it's sort of a fun watch to have in your collection. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have one. And as always, this is an invitation to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.